This is Mark Gafford for the Sportsman. We have the pleasure of being joined by Hall of Fame MC Michael Butler. Michael, how are you keeping?
I'm well, thanks. You?
Very well, thank you. We're here at the press conference to announce Prograis and Taylor, and also Derek Chisora and David Price. Who's going to steal the show for this one?
Well, Derek sort of has a way of stealing a show at the press conference, and sometimes in the fight. Lately, it's been quite often. He's had a good couple of years. He has the ability to always be relevant and entertaining. And it's when he fights Pricey Saturday night, it's going to be very interesting because I think the fans are going to be divided, even in their own hearts, as who they want to see win or lose. I think they'll be thrilled with whoever wins and sad with whoever loses because they're both fan favorites.
You've got Regis Prograis coming over from America as you do. As I understand it, the atmosphere is slightly different in an English arena than compared to some American arenas. What can Prograis be expecting?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could see here at the press conference, he has a lot of self-confidence, and it means a lot to a fighter. He seems to be always focused in the ring. He's competitive. He has the will to win. All those things. Josh Taylor has the same thing. I think Josh physically has a reach and height advantage that we'll have to see how that plays out. It hasn't really been a problem for Regis before, but we'll have to see. For me, it's almost like I said about Pricey and Chisora. I love both guys, and with these two fighters, I appreciate them both as being like dynamite little fighters at 140 pounds. Lou DiBella has been a friend of mine for 25 years. He's the promoter for Regis, and Sam is a good friend of mine that is part of his team. And of course, the WBSS with the Sauerlands that I've known for 20 years, and Matchroom Boxing is my promoter. So I have all these connections to both fighters in both camps. So I'm just going to have to sit back and put my fan hat on and hope for a really great fight, and just be brokenhearted when one guy loses and happy for the other.
UK fight fans create quite an atmosphere. What is Prograis in store for at London's O2, which has been dubbed the Lion's Den?
Yeah, he better wear some plugs when he comes out. I mean, the crowd here at the O2 and in Manchester, and I've been to Liverpool a few times. We've got a good event coming up there in a few weeks. UK fans, they come early. They're knowledgeable. They're not afraid to spend the money and try to get the best seat they can, or watch on box office or whatever, pardon me. And they light it up, man. They really know how to treat a fighter. And when I say they're knowledgeable, one thing I love is like when Usyk fought Bellew here. The fans, of course, were for Tony, but they appreciated the effort and the star quality that obviously Usyk has. And I've seen that before. Somebody comes in here and does their best and shows that they are the best. It's not like the fans, leave their hometown favorite or their home country favorite, but they appreciate quality boxing. That's what I mean when I say UK fans are knowledgeable. They come early. You watch the fights on TV from Vegas, and you don't see most of those seats filled up until the main event. That's not the case here at the O2 or the Manchester Arena or other arenas around the UK.
Speaking of filling up arenas, how do you think the KSI Logan Paul spectacle in LA is going to go down over there?
I'm hearing sellout. It's mind-blowing. But, it's going to be kind of like, let me give you an example. Over the years, I've introduced a lot of different events, including concerts. And years ago, I remember when NSYNC was still established, and the opening act was this girl named Britney Spears, but this is how long ago it was. And when I came out and introduced them at the Paramount Theater in LA, the sound that came back was like a gazillion bumblebees with all these screaming kids and everything. And we have these tweeners, that love these two guys and are really into the YouTuber thing and all that. So we're probably going to have 20,000 plus fans to see them, combined with the fans that are going to see Devin Haney and Billy Joe Saunders, who I think is one of the best fighters in the world. And so it's a great night for the purists and the YouTuber crowd. So it's really interesting. But that first fight they had was really a competitive fight. It was really a good fight. So we'll have to see what happens without the headgear.
They're also looking to be taking it very seriously. The footage that's emerging, they both look in incredible shape.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, Logan Paul is, from what I understand, I think he was an American football player in high school, and I think he went to college for a year or two, and he's a massive guy. I was looking at a picture recently that I took with him, and he's like 6'2" or 3", and very athletic, obviously. KSI looked like he was in twice the shape already when we had a press conference 4 weeks ago in LA. He really, really looks good. So this is going to be interesting. And they're going to be fighting as cruiserweights. I think KSI is going to have to struggle to put on a little more than 185 pounds, just a guess. And Logan Paul might have to struggle to get his fine-tuned weight down to 198, 99 pounds.
Who wins that one for you?
Who wins that one? I have no idea. That's gonna. I was really impressed with the last fight that KSI looked very dominant. It was a 4-round fight, and then, Logan Paul was really looking strong, and then KSI had a fantastic final round to pull that out to a draw. So it's going to be interesting.
In terms of self-promotion, do you think that boxers could learn a thing or two from these YouTubers? I think they share something like 40 million followers online each. Do you think boxers could learn a few things or two?
I think it's actually close to 30 million, believe it or not. As far as YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and all that, it's mind-boggling. But they have, through their own business acumen and being very clever guys, really locked into something that, believe me, I didn't know anything about 10 years ago, and these guys really, could see it coming. And I wish I had, when I was getting advice like, oh, you got to get an Instagram account, and I was like, well, what for? Now I know why. So if they could teach anything, I don't know. We've got a lot of young fighters that are good looking. I mean, look at Josh Taylor. He looks like a movie star. Guys like, they could really tune into that. But they're so involved in training and doing things that you don't think of in lines of social media promotion. We kind of have to rely on the fight promoters to step up their game for that. I think that this isn't. It's a standalone fight on a great night of professional boxing. They're both turning pro. They're getting paid, and they're being licensed. But it's still a novelty event, and they know that, and we all know that. But it's still it's going to have a certain market and a separate fan base. But it's going to be interesting. That, like I said, that first fight time they fought in Manchester was a really good fight, and I think. Listen, everybody's going to enjoy Billy Joe Saunders and Devin Haney in the undercard. We're going to have a great night of boxing. And then we're going to have this fight at the end of the night. And people should stick around and watch it. It's going to be good.
Michael Buffer, thanks for the sports.
Right,
thanks so much.